Okay, welcome to my next lesson on marketing. This is from the Principles of Marketing book, okay? And we're on chapter 2. It's company and marketing strategy. Now, the purpose is partnering to build customer relationships. Okay? And before I start the lesson, I just want to say that I'm not trying to take credit for the content of the lesson. As a matter of fact, the publishers here is Cutler, or authors are Cutler and Armstrong. All the content belongs to them. It's just I'm just communicating the content in the book. Okay, just to make that clear. Chapter 2. Okay. One second. Just trying to get back to chapter 2. Okay, there's. Okay. Now, in the first chapter, we explored marketing process. Here we go. Okay. Process by which companies create value for customers in order to capture value from them in return. In this chapter, we dig deeper into steps 2 and 3 of that process, digging customer-driven marketing strategies, constructing marketing programs. First, we look at the organization's own strategic planning, which guides marketing strategy and planning. Okay, see that? Okay. What I recommend you do is when you read, take notes. When you're reading, think about what you're reading. Okay, first we look at the organization's overall strategic planning, which guides marketing strategy, planning. Next, we discuss how guided by the strategic plan, marketing partner closely with others inside and outside the firm to create value for customers. Ultimately, it's about showing and communicating value to customers. They need to be able to understand the value of the product or service as part of what you're communicating through your marketing. We then discuss marketing strategic planning and how marketers choose target markets, position their market offerings, develop a market mix, and manage their own marketing programs. Finally, we look at the important steps of measuring and managing return of marketing investment, marketing ROI, that's return on investment. Let's begin by looking at Nike. Over the past decades, Nike has built Nike swoosh as the world's best known brand symbols. Nike's outstanding success results from much more than just making and selling good sports gear. It's based upon customer focused mission and strategy through which Nike creates value, brand experiences, and brand community with its customers. Okay, so we're not just selling quality, we're selling the brand, which is of course associated with the quality, and we're also selling the experience. When I say experience, is experience using the product and experience connecting with other people who have experience using the product. You understand that's the community. Now here, there is a case study which I recommend that you read on your own about Nike. Okay. What I'm doing in here is just giving some main points and getting you to understand the ideas presented in this chapter. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead. Now, I'd like to iterate the 5 objectives of this album. First, you want to explain company-wide strategic planning and its 4 steps. Okay? which is company-wide strategic planning defining marketing's role. Next, we want to discuss how to design business portfolios and develop growth strategies. That's designing the business portfolio. Next, we want to explain marketing's role in strategic planning and how marketing works with its partners to create and deliver customer value. Okay? That is planning marketing, which is partnering to build customer relationships. You can partner with other companies or you can partner with your customers to get the marketing data and to enhance the experience for customers. Okay? Number 4, describe the elements of customer-driven marketing strategy and mix and the forces that influence it. Okay? If I can get this. What I do is, as I'm going along, I look at the main ideas and highlight them. That way I can go back and look at it a second time if need be. And so in this case, it's marketing strategy and the marketing mix. And the 5th objective we want to talk about for this chapter is the marketing management functions, including the elements of a marketing plan, and discuss the importance of measuring and managing return on marketing investment. That is managing the marketing effort and measuring and managing return on marketing investment. Now, as we said before, like Nike, outstanding marketing organizations employ strongly customer-driven marketing strategies and programs to create customer value and relationships. This is a reoccurring theme, so I want to make that clear. These marketing strategies and programs, however, are guided by broader company-wide strategic plans, which must also be customer focused. So that's broader company-wide strategic plan, which must also be customer focused. Okay. Thus, to understand the role of marketing, you must first understand the organization's overall strategic planning process. First, let's start off with talking about company-wide strategic planning, which is defining the marketing role. Each company must find the game plan for long-run survival and growth that makes the most sense given its specific specific situation, opportunities, objectives, and resources. Don't forget those 4 right there. Situation, opportunities, objectives, and resources. This is the focus of strategic planning. It is the process of developing and maintaining a strategic fit between the organization's goals and capabilities and its changing marketing opportunities. Strategic planning sets the stage for the rest of planning in the firm. Companies usually prepare annual plans, long-range plans, and strategic. That's how I'm highlighting that. What I do is, if you're in Adobe Reader, you can click on the highlight and you can highlight it. And then when you're done with the document, when you click save, it'll ask you where you want to save it to. Save it to the original file, okay, unless you want 2 copies of the same file. The idea is that you would have your notes highlighted. Another idea is you could actually take a photo of it, or you could screenshot it, or even just copy paste it into a Word document. So companies usually prepare annual plans, long-range plans, and strategic plans. If you don't plan to succeed, then you plan to fail. Planning is required for success. Now, the annual long-range plans deal with the company's current businesses and how to keep them going. In contrast, the strategic plan involves what? Okay. Strategic plan involves adapting the firm to take advantage of opportunities in its constantly changing environment. This is where being adaptable what's important. As things change, also your strategy has to change. Meaning, such as, for example, if there's not a demand for something, you have to change up your offering. If the economic situations change as well, you have to change up also how you can still offer your regular prices, but you have to be presented in such a way that will show value that people will take have it. Okay. Now, all the companies, all the corporate level, at the corporate level, that is, the company starts a strategic planning process by defining its overall purpose and mission. Okay? So, strategic planning process defines its overall purpose and mission. That's what strategic planning is. The mission is then turned into detailed supporting objectives, right, that guide the entire company. Okay? Next, the headquarters decides what portfolio of businesses and products is best for the company and how much support to give each one. In turn, businesses and products develop detailed marketing planning, detailed marketing and other departmental plans and support the company wide plan. Thus, marketing planning occurs at the business unit, product, and marketing levels. Okay. Now, of course, everything matters, but I'm just going to highlight some key terms. Right? That's why this is highlighted. You can always go back and look at it. Okay? Now, it supports company strategic planning with more detailed plans for specific marketing opportunities. Let's talk about the steps in strategic planning. Now, this is a list. This is a list of the marketing strategy. Actually, if I can pull this up a little bit. This is the list of marketing strategy, broad company strategy, and which must be customer focused. Number one, we want to focus on defining the company mission. In other words, what are we trying to accomplish? What are our goals? That's the mission. Now, when we go over to corporate level, we want to set the company's objectives and goals. Remember, if it's corporate, we also are dealing with shareholders. Okay? So that quite obviously, the idea is to make money for the shareholders. Next, we want to design the business portfolio. That means everything enclosed in the business will be in the portfolio. Okay. And then after you've done all those, we have something called the business unit and product and market level. Now, our purpose is planning, marketing, and other functional strategies. What we need to do is we need to take all of our ways of doing things and apply it towards accomplishing our goals. Now, it could be because things are in steps. Each step could have its own little strategy. Okay. Now, company-wide strategic guides, planning guides, marketing strategy, and planning. Let me just highlight that. Should have been all highlighted, but except for wide. Okay, now let's reduce the size a little bit. Whoa. Okay, let's go back to let's go to like 150. Here we go. Now we want to first start with the mission statement. That's a statement of the organization's purpose, which, as in what it wants to accomplish in the larger environment. An organization exists to accomplish something, and the purpose should be clearly stated. Forging a sound mission begins with the following questions. What? So, okay. What is our business? Who is the customer? What does the consumer value? And what should our business be? Now, these sound like very simple questions, but you would be amazed how many businesses haven't considered it. So, the ones that are more successful usually are better at marketing and better at planning as far as the business strategy and the marketing mix. Now, the business strategy is another topic, but it is related to marketing strategy and the marketing mix. These simple sounding questions are among the most difficult the company will ever have to answer. Remember something, just because it sounds simple doesn't mean it's easy to answer. It's easy to understand the question, but it's not easy to have the right answer. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like sometimes you say, okay, what do I want to have for dinner? It's a very simple question, right? And it's like, well, I don't know. I want this one, or this one. See? What does the company want to do and have? You see? So, what is our business? What is the nature of it? What kind of business? Who is the customer? Who are the customers that are going to be buying your product or service? What do customers value? What's valuable for the customer? And what should our business be? Okay? Which goes back to the original question. What is our business? So if you consider those other things, in addition to your interest and your skill set, right, and your ability to either scale sooner or later, this will tell you what you want to do. Mainly it has to do with your resources and your proficiency. Now, many organizations develop formal mission statements that answer these questions. A mission statement is a statement of an organization's purpose. In other words, what does it want to accomplish? It's exactly what I said. It's very basic, very straightforward, but it's something you need to think in advance about. Right? Now, if you already know your interest, it's mainly like your interest, right? And also presumably your ability to provide a certain product or service. Okay. Now, a clear mission statement acts on an invisible hand that guides people to the organization. They put invisible hand in quotes just as a figurative saying. Some companies define missions myopically, which means you can't see very far ahead, and product or technology terms, as in we'll make or and sell furniture, or we are a chemical processing firm. That's overly simplified. So, but mission statements should be market oriented, okay, and defined in terms of satisfying basic customer needs. Okay, translation. What does the customer need? You see, there's three things. Okay, first thing is the want. Secondly, it's the need, and third thing is the demand. I want a luxury car. What do I need? Well, I just need something to get me from point A to point B. Okay, my demand is something in between, or either something in between want and need, or something that's a want and a need. Good marketing connects the want and the need to get the want and the need together. Now, products and technologies eventually become outdated, but basic market needs may last forever. Under Armour's mission isn't just to make performance sports apparel; it's to make all the athletes better through passion, science, and relentless pursuit of innovation. Excuse me. That is basically the slogan, but in this case, it's also the mission statement. A lot of times, you make your slogan based upon your mission statement, not your mission statement based upon your slogan. Your slogan comes after your mission statement. Understand? Okay. Likewise, Chipotle's mission is to sell burritos um, isn't just to sell burritos. Instead, the restaurant promises food with integrity, highlighting its commitment to the immediate long-term welfare of customers and the environment. There we go. Welfare of customers and the environment. In a politically correct world, this is even more important, and also for PR purposes, this is important. Now, Chipotle services are only very best natural, sustainable, and local ingredients raised with respect for the animals, environment, and the farmers. Provides several other examples of product-oriented versus market-oriented business definitions. So, excuse me. Here we have a table of the business definitions. So for each company, they have their own product-oriented definition. Okay, and then the market-oriented definition. So product-oriented definition, as in what's the product, and the market-oriented. In the general space, what do they do? So let me make one thing clear. In marketing, you have three parts. You have the market itself, you have the segment, and you have the niche. The market is the general industry. For example, computers. Okay? The segment is software, or the segment is hardware. Excuse me. Get some water here. Now, in hardware software, you have your own specialty. For example, in software, you could be a company that makes production. Like for example, office software. Like they make like Word, something of the equivalent of like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, blah blah blah. Like productivity software, uh, or you could be someone who makes operating systems on the software. Productivity software is one niche. The other niche is operating systems. Okay? Hardware. Well, you could make peripherals like a mouse, keyboard, right? Or you could make the whole computer itself. Different niche. Okay? And each component, actually, if we subdivide it, um, each piece of hardware is actually its own. But if we want to look at this more generally in a broader view, you would say peripherals. Okay? So, but actually, you have direct competitor and indirect competitor, which we'll talk about later in this book. Direct competitor is two people who are making or producing, uh, right? They're making or producing the same product or service. Okay, so two companies that make a mouse, two people that make the same keyboard or make keyboards, two people that make the same monitors, or they make laptops, or they make cooling pads, or any of those things. Okay, if it's the same kind of device, right? That is a direct competitor. That is a niche. So when they talk about that, when he's talking about this is a very general. For example, if I say financial market, financial industry, there's different things in the financial industry, right? They have their own specialty. So you say, okay, well, for example, they would say, okay, investing. That's one segment. And investing, there's different kinds of investing. So we go from very general to very specific. Okay? But for marketing purposes, we put ourselves out there in the industry itself, right? And then when we position ourselves, the positioning is done in the niche. This is where we place ourselves in the market, okay? Now, mission statements should be meaningful and specific yet motivating. They should emphasize the company's strengths in the marketplace. Okay? Now, because why? It's pretty common sense. You don't do something that you're not good at, you do something that you are good at. You understand? The problem is that too often mission statements are written for public relations purposes and lack specific, workable guidelines, says marketing consultant Jack Welch. Okay? He goes on to talk about the jargon and what CEOs talk about and some examples as well. Now, finally, a company's mission should not be stated as making more sales and profits. Profits are only a reward for creating value for customers. Okay? Remember, value of the company comes at the end of the cycle, not at the beginning. Instead, the mission should focus on customers and customers' experience the company seeks to create. It's very simple. It's just like this. I want to make money, but I can't just say, okay, I want to get money, but I don't want to provide anything. First thing is providing value to the customer. Once the customer sees the value, then they will in turn create what they call value for value, which means value is reciprocated. So the company shows the value of it, has a price, customer pays the price, and then after customer pays the price, customer gets the product or service, and then the income from that transaction gives the value to the company. Do you understand? For example, McDonald's mission isn't to be the world's best and most profitable quick service restaurant. It's to be our customers' favorite place and way to eat. See, here's the thing. You need to focus on quality and the experience that the customer will get. Once that is world class, once that is at a high level, then it will be commensurate with the amount of money that can be made. The higher quality, the more money made. If McDonald's accomplishes this customer focused mission, profits will follow. Exactly. Accomplishes the customer focused mission, profits will follow. Other people want to make money, but they don't want to provide the value, and it will never happen that way. Not in a ethical and honest market. Now, the next thing to consider is setting companies' objectives and goals. Well, the company needs to turn its mission into a detailed supporting objective for each level of management. Okay? Each manager should have objectives and are responsible for reaching them. For example, Kohler makes and markets familiar kitchen and bathroom fixtures, everything from bathtubs and toilets to kitchen sinks. But Kohler also offers a breadth of other products and services, including furniture, tile and stone, and even small engines and backup power systems. It also owns resorts and spas in the United States and Scotland. Kohler ties this diverse product portfolio together with the mission of contributing to a higher level of gracious living for those who are touched by our products and services. It sounds kind of corny or whatever. The thing is, you have to present the value of what you offer from the customer's point of view. In other words, how does it benefit the customer? You understand? Okay. Now, the broad mission leads to a hierarchy of objectives, including business objectives, marketing, and marketing objectives. Okay. Now, Kohler's overall objective is to build profitable customer relationships by developing efficient yet beautiful products that embrace the quote essence of gracious living, unquote. Mission. It does by investing heavily in research and design. Research is expensive and must be funded through improved profit. So improving profits becomes another major objective for Kohler. Profits must be improved by increasing sales and reducing costs. Sales can be increased by improving the company's share of domestic and international markets. Okay. Catch that last part. Sales can be increased by improving the company's share of domestic and international markets. So your market, one major market geographically is going to be domestic, and the other one's going to be international. And for each country, it's its own market, you understand? This is a geographical market. Okay? These goals can become the company's current marketing objectives. Now, marketing strategies and programs must be developed to support their marketing objectives. To increase market share, Kohler must increase the product's availability and promotion, okay, into existing markets and expand into new markets. Okay? Okay? Now, for example, Kohler is boosting production capacity in India and China to better serve the Asian market. These are Kohler's broad marketing strategies. Each broad marketing strategy must be defined in greater detail. Okay? That's why it's a general or broad marketing strategy. Excuse me. For example, increasing the product's promotion may require more salespeople, advertising, and public relations efforts. If so, both requirements will need to be spelled out. In this way, firm's mission is translated into a set of objectives for the current period. Okay? Firm's mission is translated into a set of objectives for the current period. Now, let's talk about designing the business portfolio. Guided by the company's mission and objectives, management now must plan the business portfolio, which is the collection of businesses and products that make up the company. It's like a portfolio, you usually have two or more of something inside of it. It's the collection of it. Now, the best business portfolio is the one that best fits the company's strengths and weaknesses, opportunities, and the environment. All right. Later on, they're going to talk about four major considerations in marketing strategy, which also intersects with business strategy, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay? Now, from the company's point of view, it needs to be a best fit for their strengths, what they're good at, minimizing their weaknesses, and maximizing their opportunities in the environment. Business portfolio planning involves two steps. First, the company must analyze its current business portfolio and determine which businesses should receive more or less or no investment. Second, it must shape the future portfolio by developing strategies for growth and resizing. Downsizing, that is. Okay, for example, if there's certain parts of the business that needs to be cut, that's part of the downsizing. As the business environments change, guess what happens? Your strategy has to change as well. Okay? So first, you have to analyze the current business portfolio, and determine which businesses should receive more or less of the investment. When they say investment, that means when you put money into marketing, it's literally an investment because you are putting money in with the expectation of getting something out. Now, here we have a case example of McDonald's. Now, I won't actually go ahead and read all this. What I'm going to do is, this is something you should read, okay? This is on a customer-focused mission. Okay? This is basically how McDonald's has set up their marketing to maximize their customer-driven, uh, value-driven strategy, okay? And also to increase the market share. Let's talk about the portfolio analysis. This is the process in which, by the way, I'll make this a little larger for you. This is the process by which management evaluates the products and businesses that make up the company. This is so. The major activity in strategic planning is portfolio analysis. Analysis is essentially taking all the information and making a decision and a conclusion about what is and what should be done. Whereby management evaluates the products and businesses that make up the company. The company wants to pull strong resources into its most profitable business and phase down or drop its weaker ones. So your weakness can be things that are not profitable. There's different types of weaknesses. So if you have a weakness in the company, it's something to purge. Management's first step is to identify the key business that makes up the company, called strategic business units, or SBUs. Okay? Okay? Key business units that make up the company. Now, an SBU can be a company, division, a product line with the division, or sometimes a single product or brand. The company next assesses the attractiveness or the various SBUs and decides how much support each deserves. When designing a business portfolio, it's a good idea to add up and support products and businesses that fits closely with the firm's core philosophy and competencies. Okay. What are the two last things? Core philosophy and competencies. Philosophy is a belief on how things should be done. And competency is what are you good at, just to make sure that's understood. Now, the purpose of strategic planning is to find ways in which the company can best use its strengths to take advantage of attractive opportunities in the market. Okay? Now, some must, sorry, so must standard, so most, or sorry, so most standard portfolio analysis methods evaluate SBUs in two different dimensions. Okay? Excuse me. Number one is the attractiveness of the SBU market or industry, and the strength in the SBU's position in the market or industry. The best known portfolio planning method was developed by Boston Consulting Group, a leading management consulting firm. Okay, so those two is attractiveness of the SBU's market, and also the industry and strength of SBU's position in that. So how when they say attractiveness of the market, it's basically like how lucrative, how profitable, how much revenue is to be made, and secondly is how well can you position yourself in the market in terms of what your strengths compared to what can be positioned in the market. Here's just a case example about the Boston Consulting Group approach. Using the now classic Boston Consulting Group, or BCG approach, company classify SBUs according to growth share matrix. On the vertical axis, you have market growth rates, provide a measure of the market's attractiveness. Okay? And on the horizontal axis, you have relative market share serves as a measure of the company's strength in the market. So you have, it's just like a graph. You have vertical, which is Y, and then you have horizontal, which is X. And the vertical is market growth rate, and then the horizontal X is the relative market share. So one is how much is it growing, and the second one is what is the total value of it. So what you have basically is you have four things. You have stars, okay? You have cash cows, okay? You have question marks, and you have dogs. Okay? Now let's talk about the first one. Stars are high growth, high share business products. Okay? They often need heavy investments to finance their rapid growth. Okay, eventually their growth will slow down and they will need to turn into cash cows. Number two, cash cows are low growth and high share business products. They establish and successful SBUs and less investment to hold their market share. Thus, they produce a lot of cash, and the company uses it to pay its bills to support its SBUs that need investment. So basically, here's what it is: you produce the money that you have something that has a high profit. It generates money. The money is reinvested. Okay? Now, with the question marks. Question marks are low share businesses units in high growth markets. Okay, let me talk about what that is. They require a lot of cash to hold in their share, let alone increase it. Okay? So you have basically, um, you need lots of cash to hold the share, but it has a high growth market. Management has to think hard about which question marks should try to build into stars and which should be phased out. Okay? If you have a high share business units, then with a high growth market, then you increase more. So with this is where you have to, it has to be converted from lower to higher. Okay. Now the last one is dogs. Dogs are a low growth, low share business and products. Now the problem with low share is that it has very small percentage in the market. They may generate enough cash to maintain themselves, but it doesn't promise to be large sources of cash. Okay, so basically, this is like a break-even, okay, sunk cost type thing where you're just breaking even. You're not making hardly any. The 10 circles in the growth share matrix represent the company's 10 current SBUs. The company has 2 stars, 2 cash cows, and 3 question marks, and 3 dogs. The areas of the circle are proportional to the SBU's dollar sales. The company in fair shape, although is not in great shape, it wants to invest in more promising question marks to make them star and maintain the stars so that they'll become cash cows in their market's nature. Okay, so that's a mouthful here. So what does it want to do? Invest in the more promising question marks. Why? To make them stars. Means to maintain stars, they'll become cash cows as their markets mature. Fortunately, it has 2 good-sized cash cows. Income from cash cows will help finance companies' question marks. That's when they say question mark, it's maybe yes, maybe no. Ideally, you want to have high share and high growth. Think of high share as a higher percentage of the market, and the high growth is a greater percentage of increase in profits. Okay. Now, once classified its SBUs, the company must determine what role each will play in the future. It can pursue 1 to 4 strategies for each SBU. It can invest more in the business unit to build a share, or it can invest just enough to hold the SBUs share in the current level. It can harvest the SBU, milking the short-term cash flow, regardless of the long-term effect. Finally, it can divest SBU by selling or phasing it out and using the resources elsewhere. As time passes, SBUs change their positions into growth share matrix. Many SBUs start out as question marks and move into the star category if they succeed. They later become cash cows as market growth falls, and then finally die off into dogs towards the end of their life cycle. Right? Now, problems with the matrix approaches. The BCG and other formal methods are revolutionized strategic planning. However, such centralized approaches have limitations. First, they can be difficult, time-consuming, and costly to implement. Management may find it difficult to define SBUs and measure market share and growth. In addition, these approaches focus on classifying current businesses, but provide little advice for future planning. Approaches focus on classifying current businesses, but provide little advice on future planning. Because of such problems, many companies have dropped formal matrix methods in favor of more customized approaches that better suit their specific situations. Moreover, unlike former strategic planning efforts that rested mostly in the hands of senior managers at companies' headquarters, today's strategic planning has been decentralized. Increasingly, companies are playing responsibilities for strategic planning in the hands of cross-functional teams or division managers that share close to their markets. Okay. Towards the end of the book, we're going to talk more about that. Well, here's a case example about Walt Disney. They set up a powerful centralized strategic planning group to guide its direction and growth. Okay. Basically, over the next 2 decades, strategic planning group turned the Walt Disney Company into a huge and diverse collection of media and entertainment businesses. The sprawling company grew to include everything from theme resorts and film studios, which is the Walt Disney Pictures, Touchstone Pictures, Hollywood Pictures, and other media networks such as ABC Plus, Disney Channel, ESPN, A&E, and History Channel, and half a dozen others to the consumer products enterprise line. Why? Because we need to meet and fulfill the demands of all the demographics and all the products that people will consume. So basically, the greater the product offering and the more diverse the product offering, the more likely you can get revenue. The newly transformed company provides hard to manage and performs unevenly. To improve performance, Disney disbanded the centralized strategic planning unit and decentralizing its functions to Disney division managers. As a result, Disney reclaimed its position as head of the world's media conglomerates. And despite recently facing the weakest economy in our lifetime, Disney's sound strategic management of its brand mix and businesses has developed it, it fare, helped it fare better than its rival media companies. Okay, so in later on, they're going to talk about how you change your marketing in a downturn. Let's talk about developing strategies for growth and downsizing. Beyond evaluating current businesses, designing the business portfolios, including finding businesses and products the company should consider for the future. Okay? Companies need growth if they're going to compete more effectively and satisfy their stakeholders and attract top talent. So, at the same time, firm must be careful not to make growth itself an objective. The company's objective must be to maintain profitable growth. Why? You need to continue to make profit, but if you have shareholders, they want to make their investment worth more every quarter, presumably. There's a quarterly report that comes out every 3 months, but from the company's point of view, they want to make it every month, but at least every quarter because that's how it's defined. Marketing has the main responsibility for achieving profitable growth for the company. Marketing needs to identify, evaluate, and select market opportunities and establish strategies for capturing them. One useful device for identifying growth opportunities is the product market expansion grid. And here it is. Under Armour introduced its innovative line of comfy moisture wicking shirts and shorts. Since then, actually, I want to undo that. Okay. Then it's grown rapidly to its performance wear niche. Over just the past 3 years, sorry, even as retail sales slumped across the board in the down economy, Under Armour's sales more than doubled and profits grew 22%. Looking forward, the company must look for new ways to keep growing. First, Under Armour must consider whether the company can achieve deeper market penetration, which is making more sales without changing its original products. Okay, now obviously it can spur growth. If you look at the matrix here, we have existing markets in red and we have new products in blue. So if you go down, existing products have market penetration and market development. New products have market development and diversification. Existing markets have market penetration and product development, while new markets have market development and diversification. So what you do is you follow the grid and go sideways and down. So the sideways would be X. When you're going up and down, that's Y. So when you look at it, if you're going sideways, that would be all going sideways. For existing products, that's going down as well. Here's the key ideas: market penetration, market development. And for products, we have product development and diversification. Okay. Oh, well, um, And it can spur growth through marketing mix improvements, adjustments to its product design, advertising, pricing, and distribution efforts. For example, Under Armour offers an ever-increasing range of styles and colors in its original apparel lines. It recently boosted its promotion spending in an effort to drive home its performance and authenticity positioning. Notice how they said positioning. The company has also added direct-to-consumer distribution channels, including its own retail stores. That's direct-to-consumer, or you could say direct. Website and toll-free call center direct-to-consumer sales grew about 50% last year and now account for more than 50% of its total revenues. Second, Under Armour must consider possibilities for market development, which is identifying and developing new markets for current products. Under Armour could review new demographic markets. That's the key word, demographic. So just to be clear on what that word means, a demographic is a group of people that share the same characteristics buying for buying habits. So characteristics refers to buying power and buying frequency and buying choice. So frequency is the choice plus the duration. How many times? So this is the type of people who buy. So if we have rich people who buy or high spending, high earning people, they tend to pay for more expensive items, okay, to put that simply. While people with less income can only afford to pay for the lower price. For instance, the company recently stepped up its emphasis on women consumers and predicts that its women apparel business will someday be larger than the men's apparel business. The Under Armour Athletes Run advertising campaign includes a 30-second women's only spot. Under Armour could also pursue new geographical markets. For example, the brand has announced its intention to expand internationally. Okay, so you have geographical markets, that's the place where you market and sell products or services. Okay? That's what I was referring to earlier. Excuse me. Third, Under Armour could consider product development, that is, offering modified or new products to current markets. When they talk about modified, it's basically a way of changing a product to meet the demand of the consumer. Oftentimes, it includes improving the product itself, as this is a change to the product, not the same. In 2008, in an effort to transform itself into a niche player, you see we have the keyword is niche player to mainstream brand. Under Armour entered a $19 billion athletic footwear market with a line of cross-trainer shoes. Last year introduced a high-performance running shoes, although this puts the company into direct competition with sports heavyweights such as Nike and Adidas, which also promises big growth. Now, finally, Under Armour must consider diversification, starting up or buying businesses beyond its current products and markets. Okay, put simply, that is increasing the different product offerings. So instead of offering the same kind of product, you're offering different products, such as, for example, Under Armour. They have T-shirts. Let's say they start out with T-shirts. Now they have T-shirts and underwear, right? That's two different. That's a two different types of products, right? When they diversify, they added a new product. Okay, they don't put everything into one product, but they have it into multiple products. Okay? These are different products, not the same. For example, could move into non-performance leisure wear or begin making or marketing Under Armour fitness equipment. Okay, that's another thing. When diversifying, companies must be careful not to be overextended their brand's positioning. See, so each kind of product requires a certain brand positioning in terms of how it's showing its brand in the market. Companies must not only develop strategies for growing their business portfolios, but also strategies for downsizing, as we talked about earlier. There are many reasons that a firm might abandon products or markets. The firm may have grown too fast or entered areas where it lacks experience. This can occur when a firm enters too many international markets without the proper research, or when a company introduces new products that don't offer superior customer value. This is where you have to be careful about diversification, but that's why what you do before you offer a product is you need to do your marketing research to understand who are the buyers and what are their habits. So you need to know those things first, and what are their values. The market environment might change, making some products or markets less profitable. For example, in difficult economic times, many firms prune out or weaker, less profitable products and markets to focus on more limited resources on stronger ones. Okay? But actually, it's a good idea whether or not it's a good economy or a bad economy, but even more so in a bad economy, because as a general rule, you want to weed out, or as they say, prune out, which means cut out bad ones, as in the ones that are not profitable enough. When a firm finds brands or businesses that are unprofitable or no longer fit its overall strategy, it must carefully prune, harvest, or divest them, means get rid of them. Weak businesses usually require a disproportionate amount of management attention. Managers should focus on promising growth opportunities, okay, not further away energy trying or salvage fading ones. If it's not making money, you have to get rid of it. It's that simple. If it's not profitable enough, you have to get rid of it. Let's move on to the next part. Finding marketing, partnering to build customer relationships. The company's strategic plan establishes what kind of businesses the companies will operate and objectives for each. Then, with each business unit, the more detailed planning takes place. The more functional departments in each unit, which is the major functioning departments in each unit, which are marketing, finance, accounting, purchasing, operations, and information systems, human resources. Okay? And others must work together to accomplish their strategic objectives. So for marketing, we need a budget. We need to have accounting for the inventory. We need to make sure that purchasing goes well. We need to make sure that we are doing things in an efficient and sensible way. We need to make sure our information is protected and managed and used to communicate the value. And then human resources, as far as using using people to work well in the company as a group. Marketing plays a key role in the company's strategic planning in several ways. First, marketing provides a guiding philosophy. Okay, we need to know what is the way that we want to do things. That is the marketing concept that suggests that the company's strategy should revolve around profitable relationships. A company's strategy should revolve around building profitable relationships with important consumer groups. Second, marketing provides inputs and strategic planners by helping to identify attractive market opportunities and assessing the firm's potential to take advantage of them. Finally, within individual business units, Marketing design strategies for reaching the unit's objectives. Once the unit's objectives are set, marketing task is to help carry them out profitably. Now, customer value is the key ingredient for the maker's formula for success. However, as I noted in chapter 1, marketers alone cannot produce a superior value for customers. Okay? Now, although marketing plays a leading role, it can also be a partner in attracting, keeping. Okay? Marketing plays a leading role, and it can be a partner in attracting, keeping, and growing customers. In addition to customer relationship management, you might have heard the term CRM, which is what that is, customer relationship management. Marketers must also practice partnership relation management, or PRM. So we have two things to manage: the customers, relationship with customers, and relationship with partners. They must work closely with partners and company departments to form an effective internal value chain. Okay, okay, that serves customers. Moreover, competitively superior external value delivery network, which is your partners. Okay? And let's talk about the concepts of a company's value chain and the value delivery network. Okay. So as far as the partnerships, partnering with other companies' departments. So each company department can be thought of as linked to a company's internal value chain. That is, the department carries out value-creating activities to design, produce, market, deliver, and support the company's products. Okay? This is where you have an internal partnership. The firm's success depends not only on how well each department performs its work, but also how well the various departments coordinate their activities. I think this is something that they were starting to implement in the 2000s because they found that one department didn't understand the other department and didn't understand how um, it could be used to enhance the other department's ability to better perform on their task. So basically, they're synergistic. Marketing department makes the accounting department understand how money is spent, how resources are used. And with the marketing department, they understand how things are accounted for in terms of what they should use. So they have that cooperation where they can better, they can make a greater impact and have better understanding of the process by cooperating interdepartment-wise. Now, the firm's success depends not only on how well each department performs its work, but also how well the various departments coordinate their activities. For example, Walmart's goal is to create customer value and satisfaction by providing shoppers with the products they want with the lowest possible prices. Marketers at Walmart play an important part because they learn that customers need in stock store shelves with desired products and unbeatable low prices. They prepare advertising and merchandising programs and assist shoppers with customer service. Through these and other activities, Walmart's marketers help to deliver value to customers. However, the marketing department needs help from this company's other departments, which is that Walmart's ability to offer right products low products depends on purchasing. Department's skill in developing the needed supplies to buying from them at a lower cost. Walmart's information technology department must provide fast and accurate information about which products are selling in each store, and its operations must provide effective low-cost merchandise handling. So if you think about this in the context, um, basically, let me see advertising for Walmart. Each department has knowledge that, when shared with the other department, can make the other department do their job better. If for no other reason, it will give a greater insight on how things can be done or is done. Now, a company's value chain is only as strong as the weakest link. Success depends on how well each department performs and work of adding customer value on how the company coordinates activities with various departments. Kind of a mouthful, right? All right. So think about it is each department adds customer value in one way or the other. And they work together, coordinate their activities together among all the different departments. At Walmart, if purchasing can't obtain the lowest prices from suppliers or operations can't distribute merchandise at the lowest cost, then marketing can't deliver on the promise of unbeatable prices. Ideally, then, a customer's different functions should work in harmony to produce value for customers. Right? Each function of the department is adding to value to the product for the overall mission. But in practice, departmental relations are full of conflicts and misunderstandings. The marketing department takes the consumer's point of view, but when marketing tries to develop customer satisfaction, it can cause other departments to do a poor job in their terms. Marketing department actions can increase purchasing costs, disrupt production schedules, and increase inventories and increase budget headaches. Thus, other departments may resist the marketing department's efforts. Basically, marketing department is pushing the envelope and doing more than what the other department's used to or is comfortable with. But that's what they believe that they need to do. So, yet marketers must find a way to get all departments to think consumer and develop a smooth functioning value chain. One marketing expert puts it this way: true market orientation does not mean marketing driven. It means that the entire company obsesses over creating value for the customer and views itself as a bundle of processes. Okay, it's just like the human body, right? If one part doesn't do well, the whole body doesn't do well. Okay? Each department is like an organ in the body, right? You'll be very sick if one of the departments doesn't do well. Well, each one of them helps in the overall process. All of them are in developing. All are developing into the same pipeline process. So that's what it is. Everyone must do marketing regardless of the function or department. Thus, whether you're an accountant or an operations manager, financial analyst, or IT specialist, or even human resources manager, must understand marketing and your role in creating customer value. About 3 years ago, I was working in IT as a system analyst, and I made that point that marketing is very underrated. And this is how that people will see the value of your company. A lot of people don't think about that. They just think about, well, they do the major, like they do the skeletal part of it, which is a good start, of course. But then they say, well, people like it because they see it. They're either going to like it or they're not. And then it's just a matter of making an appointment and closing the sale, or they're already going to buy. So they pretty much majorly oversimplified the process. Because the thing is, it comes down to the point where why should they buy from you instead of someone else? Or what makes their product so valuable that they should buy? Now, partnering with others in the marketing system. In its quest to create customer value, the firm needs to look beyond its own internal value chain, okay, and into the value chains of suppliers, distributors, and ultimately customers. So we got to look at the business as an overall system. You can't just look at what you do internally. You also got to look at what's done externally, as in your communication with your customers, as in getting the product that's profitable, as in delivering the product logistically, I mean, as in distribution of the product if you're in that kind of business. You understand what I'm saying? So, and then of course, from each part of the value chain, each one has their own agenda in terms of what they're trying to do. But you need to see it more than just internal, because there's an internal and there's an external. Simply because there's a company and there's a customer. But also you have your partners and you have your suppliers, okay? Partners can be internal, external as your suppliers. Those ones are giving you the product you can sell. The value chain refers to the external combined with the internal. More commonly, they think of the value chain being external because especially if it's the physical product, it's also the management of the product or service as well, which is the internal. Okay, consider McDonald's. People do not swarm to McDonald's only because they love the chain's hamburgers. Consumers flock to McDonald's system not only to its food products. Throughout the world, McDonald's finally tuned its value delivery system and delivers a high standard of QSCV, which is quality, service, cleanliness, and value. It's a finely tuned delivery system that delivers a high standard of QSCV, which is quality, service, cleanliness, and value. Now, definitely when you're dealing with food or anything perishable, cleanliness, of course, and outside of business, of course, it's important for social and medical reasons, but also for the presentation of it and the food safety. So I know that's pretty obvious, but that's what they're doing in this case example. McDonald's is effectively only to the extent that is effective only to the extent that it successfully partners with franchisees, suppliers, and other jointly create our customers as a favorite place to way to exit. See, for you to understand the external, you have to understand the business model. A business model is a very general thing that requires lots of explanation. But it's basically, if you want to subdivide it in a general way, you have external and internal. External, of course, is your value chain, or otherwise known as your supply chain. And your value chain includes the supply chain plus the internal management. So it's the external and the internal. So for the external, you have to look at your supply chain, you have to look at the people. In this case, because this is a franchise business where people pay a fee to use the name and the products every year. Okay? So you have your franchisees that pay the money to the corporate McDonald's, for example. You have the suppliers who supply the product to McDonald's. In this case, as per the agreement, as far as I know, is that the products that are sold, the franchisee sells, is sold from franchisor, which is McDonald's, to franchisee, which is a private or corporate business, etc. Now, most companies today are partnering with other members of the supply chain, which, as I mentioned, supply chain, which are suppliers, distributors. Right? Suppliers is from the original source. Okay? Have the product that you're buying from directly. Then the supplier, and then so technically, distributor can be subdivided into a reseller. You can have a reseller, so we can technically have supplier, reseller, distributor, and retailer. But for a distributor, it could be that the reseller sells directly to the retail but ultimately the distributor is the reseller who wants to sell to as many retailers as possible. And remember, the retailers are the ones that sell directly to the customers or the consumers in this case. Ultimately, customers or consumers, depending on what terminology you use, to improve the performance of our customer value delivery network. So first we have the value chain, which is internal and external, which includes the supply chain, internal management of internal value delivery system, right? Delivery network. Then you have then you have the value delivery network, which communicates with the customer. So it builds close relationships with the extension network of suppliers. Okay, so that's the value delivery network, otherwise known as the value chain. There's different terminologies that are basically the same thing. They supply everything from so they supply everything for distributor. So you have to look at the relationships. Okay, so you have technically before the supplier, you have the raw materials originator, and you have the person who basically, for example, let's suppose you sell diamonds, right? I'll give you an example, right? Person sells the diamond rings, right? Diamonds have to be mined, right? So that's from the sourcing, the original or the originator's source, right? So there you have a company who mines it, they sell it to the supplier. Okay? Now the supplier oftentimes has its own manufacturing process, so um, sometimes in between, before the suppliers, you have what's called a trade company, which is a supplier. Or supplier can also be a manufacturer who actually takes the raw materials and makes the product, and then turns around and sells it to the distributor. Do you understand? In this case, generally defined as the reseller. Okay, so that's basically how it works. Okay? Now, increasingly in today's marketplace, competition no longer takes place between individual competitors. Rather, it takes place between the value delivery networks created by the competitors. Because you see, each company has their own network. That is the value delivery network. Now, for example, Toyota's performance against Ford depends on the quality of Toyota's overall value delivery network versus Ford's. So it's just like this. You have two people selling the same thing. One company has one quality and the other company has another quality, okay? But the quality of the product, based upon the price offered, will determine how well the marketing can go. So you have to have something to work with for the marketing, and then the overall customer experience after the sale. Do you understand? All right, good. Now let's talk about marketing strategy and marketing mix. Marketing mix basically is a combination of multiple strategies. Now the strategic plan defines the company's overall missions and objectives. So what we're saying that. Now, marketing's role is shown in the figure below, which summarizes the major activities involved in managing a customer-driven marketing strategy and the marketing mix. So its first thing is based upon the customer, based upon providing value to the customer, and then you have various marketing strategies, which is called the marketing mix, that allows you to execute that customer-driven strategy. Okay? Now, consumers are in the center. The goal is to create value for the customers, as usual, and profitable customer relationships. So first one is value for the customer. Second one is profitable customer relationships. So you have two things. First one is business to consumer, is value to customers. Profitable customer relationships is business to business. Do you understand? Okay? You need the supply and then you need the customers. Supply and demand. Right? Now comes, and with also customer relationships, it has to do with having the right um, having the right customers that are profitable for the company, and also having the right products that are profitable to sell to the customers. Now, when it comes to marketing strategy, it's the marketing logic by which the company hopes to create customer value and to achieve these profitable relationships. Okay? Don't forget that. The company decides whether customers will serve in segmentation and targeting. Okay? Targeting, by the way, segmentation just refers to a major part of the market. It's a division of the market, like a branch. Targeting refers to it's the customer base and then the niche. Okay. Now, with segmentation in marketing, you also have With products and services, you need to start off with differentiation, which means how do you show that your product or service is different? And the positioning in the market, which is your place in the market, which is your niche. It identifies the total market and divides into smaller segments, which is segmentation, and selects the most promising segments, focus on serving and satisfying the customers in those segments, which is the niche. Now, guided by marketing strategy, the company designs an integrated marketing mix. This is what we're about to talk about here. Made up by factors that take under its control, which is product, price, and it's the three parts, okay? Product, price, and place. It's the product or service you have, and the price that you're selling it at, and the place where you're selling it. When they say place, refer to either a physical or virtual. Physical means like what they call brick and mortar, like a physical store. Like you go to the Walmart store, that's the place, right? Or you can go, or it's an online store. That's also a place. Okay? Where are you selling the product or service? And then the promotion, okay, which is the last part. That refers to the marketing. How to define the best marketing strategy and mix the company engages in marketing analysis, planning, implementation, and control. Now, through these activities, the company watches and adapts to the factors and forces in the marketing environment. All right, so we have the marketing analysis is the information of the marketing. After we have the information, we do the planning. After the planning, we do the implementation, which means the applying. And after that, we need to control the process and the result of the implementation. So if it's as in making changes or as in uh, monitoring and controlling, making sure that things are going in the way that the company wants. So if you need to cut back unprofitable or diversify, you can through control and also QA quality assurance as well. Now, through these activities, the company watches and adapts to these factors and forces marketing environment. We'll now look briefly at each of the activity. First, we want to look at customer-driven marketing strategy. As emphasized through Chapter 1, to succeed in today's competitive marketplace, companies must be customer-centered. That's kind of hammered in, but it's very important because you need to know who you're selling to, and we need to make sure we're selling and presenting the product or service in the right way. Now, they must win customers from competitors and then keep and grow them and deliver greater value. Why? Because we need market share, and through market share we get revenue. Okay? But before it can satisfy customers, a company must first understand customer needs and wants. Okay, company must first understand company needs and wants. Okay, what does the customer need? What do they want? What do they want? Now, thus, sound marketing requires careful customer analysis. We need to get all the information about the customer, okay, and then we need to understand what it is and then make a conclusion about what should be done with it. Companies know that they cannot profitably serve all consumers in a given market, at least not all consumers in the same way. There are too many different kinds of consumers with many different kinds of needs. Most companies are in a position to serve segments better than others. Remember, segment is a section of the market, it's not the niche. So, for example, computer marketing. What are you doing in the computer market? Are you doing hardware or you're doing software? There's only two options, okay? If we say food, if we say consumables, are we talking about drinks? Or are we talking about food? See what I'm saying? And what kind of drinks? What kind of food? What are the demographics of the food or the drinks? Are these expensive or cheap? How do we show the values? You understand? Okay. So companies know that they cannot profitably serve all consumers in the market. Why? Because the value that they're communicating can only go towards a certain demographic of people, meaning it can only go towards people of one type or the other. In other words, if you're selling expensive items, you don't the ones that have less money to spend cannot buy that. And the ones that the ones that are low budget cannot buy the expensive items. But then if you sell low quality or let's say low price to people who spend higher, and not only is the opportunity cost wasted because you could have gotten more of the product, but you've shown the wrong message to the demographics because you're showing that their price not only is lower, but it's associated with lower quality, which means that they won't buy the product. Now, there are many different kinds of consumers with too many types of kinds of needs. Most companies are in a position to serve some segments better than others. Thus, each company must divide up the total market, choose the best segments, and design strategies. Okay, so each company must divide up the total market and choose the best segments and design strategies for for profitably serving chosen segments. Now, you can have something like a excuse me, full service where you serve different segments. That's true. Anyway, but in this case, this processing calls market segmentation. Okay? Mass targeting, which means you're targeting many people. Differentiation, which is you're showing the difference between of your product or service compared to your competitors. And positioning is where are you in the market in terms of a niche. Now, let's look at this diagram. As you can see, it's a wheel. We start from the outer to the inner. What we do is we start with marketing, depending on where we want to start. We can start with marketing intermediaries, okay? That's in between points in the marketing. So we have marketing analysis, which goes to marketing planning, relating to competitors. Then we go to marketing, so we have planning, we have implementation, marketing implementation, which goes to marketing control, which is the suppliers. Now, for the next, we go back, it's kind of like a cycle. For marketing analysis, we want to talk about the place and the product. The product, we have to compare it to our competitors. Price is compared to in the public. Implementation, the public. Right? Promotion between the publics and suppliers, mainly for the publics, for your consumers. Suppliers refers to the control and the price of the product. The placement has to do with where it's sold, how it's sold. And then when you go more in depth, we talk about segmentation. This is the area of the market, which which goes to targeting, which is the type of customer you want. Then we need, after that, what we want to do is want to make our product service different than competitors. Then that way, after that, we can position ourselves in the market. And after that, after we've done all that, then we can have customer value and relationships. And in turn, of course, that leads to value to the company. Okay? So we start with the outer part, going to the inner part, and we compare to the categories in the end of it. Okay? Now, once we get to the outer part compared to the intermediaries, place. So by the third one in the middle, now we're talking about an actual system, marketing system. And then the middle, and then the dead center is the result of all this activities. Okay? Now, market segmentation consists of many types of customers, products, and needs. I think I pretty much already talked about this, but the marketer must determine which segments offer the best opportunities. Pretty common sense, right? Okay. Consumers must be grouped. Here it is. Consumers must be grouped and served in various ways based on geographic, demographic, and psychographic, and behavioral factors. Okay. So basically, the demographic has to do with the type of people, while geographic is the place, demographic is the type of people, psychographic is the thinking, the perception of the customers, and behavioral has to do with their spending habits. Okay? Process of dividing into marketing distinct groups of buyers who have different needs, characteristics, and behaviors, and who might require separate products or marketing programs is called market segmentation. Every market has segments, as I said before. Okay? That refers to different sections of the market. Okay? Now, it consumes of consumers who respond in a similar way to given set of marketing efforts. Your segmentation will tell you the demographics, or the demographics will tell you your segmentation. Okay? Segmentation is the positioning in the market. Demographics will tell you where it's positioned in the market. Now, for market targeting, after the companies define its market targeting must enter one or more of these many segments. Market targeting involves an evaluating of each market segment's attractiveness and selecting one or more segments to enter. Well, it depends on what you're doing. You can't specialize in everything. You basically have to specialize in one or two things. Now, a company should target segments in which they can profitably generate the greatest customer value and sustain it over time. Okay? You can't just have something temporary, it has to be something long term and over time. A company with limited resources might deserve to serve only one or a few segments or market niches. So segments is what general business are you doing? Is it so? For example, IT industry, making computer industry, right? What are we doing? Are we doing hardware or software? If we're doing software, we have the actual software, or we could actually have another type of niche, which is solutions. Solutions that involves maybe hardware or software, which is kind of a hybrid. Now, such niches that specialize in serving customer segments that major competitors overlook or ignore. So it's something that is new or something that only they do. For example, Ferrari sells only 1,500 of its high-performance cars in the United States, but each year at very high prices, an eye-opening $229,500 for its Ferrari F430 F1 Spider convertible to an astonishing more than $2 million for the FXX Super Sports Car. These are diversified product offerings that have different different niches. Obviously, the one that buys the 200,000 may not be able to buy the 2 million. Okay? You see, so it's in that segment, but as far as the niches for each one of those products, because we know it's a different niche because it has a different demographic. Okay? Now, alternatively, a company might choose to serve several related segments. Okay, for example, perhaps those with different kinds of customers but with the same basic wants. For example, they all want a luxury sports car. How high end are we talking? It's different demographics. In the case of clothing, Abercrombie and Fitch, for example, targets college students, teens, and kids. Okay? They have slightly different needs, but it's the same general segment because it has the same general need. It has the same basic wants. They want something, right? Right. But when you go into this niche, we'll talk about the specific need. So you can market different segments based upon wants. Needs is the segment. Needs is the niche. Do you understand? Abercrombie and Fitch, Hollister, and okay. In accessories, there's three different outlets: the original Abercrombie and Fitch, Hollister, and Abercrombie. And a large company might decide to offer a complete range of products to serve all market segments. In this one, basically, we're talking about retail. You have the expensive and you have the cheap. Large car companies such as Honda and Ford do this. You have different lines of products. You have the high end and you have the low end, and sometimes you have the mid range. Most companies enter a new market by serving a single segment. And if this proves successful, this adds more segments. So a single segment would be cars. Another segment is trucks. Another segment is, for example, RVs. And within the RVs are subdivided into different niches. You understand? That's basically what it is. Okay, for example, Nike started with the innovative running shoes for serious runners. Large companies eventually seek full market coverage. Nike now makes and sells a broad range of sports products for just about anyone and everyone, with the goal of helping athletes at every level with the ability to reach their potential. So maybe you have kids' shoes, you have adult shoes, you have elderly shoes. Okay? And then you have different designs, lighter ones, bigger ones, things like that, depending on your demographic. Some are more expensive, less expensive. And the characteristics of the customer, age, spending, the income, and maybe physical characteristics as well. It has different products designed to meet the special needs of the segment it serves. Making differentiation and positioning. Now, after companies decide which market segments to enter, it must decide how it differentiates product offerings for each targeted segment and what positions it wants to occupy in these segments. Okay, all right. So which segment does it want? Does it want sports shoe segments? Okay, we have shoes. What kind of shoes? Sports shoes. Okay. Under sports shoes, do we have the smaller one, bigger one for the kids or the adults? You see, and what prices? Okay. First position is the place it occupies relative to consumers' products and consumers' minds. So this is where it's positioned in the market as relates to the products and as relates to the perception of the consumer. Marketers want to develop unique marketing positions for their products. If a product is perceived to be exactly like others in the market, the consumers have no reason to buy it. Why? What makes the difference between A and B? Well, it's the same price, same everything. What makes me want to buy B when I already have A and it's the same thing? No reason to buy it, right? We didn't have a sufficient differentiation, meaning how is the product different? I remember something that positioning is arranging for a product to occupy a clear, distinctive, and desirable place relative to competing products in the minds of consumers. Okay? Now, marketers plan positions that distinguish products from competing brands, give them the greatest advantage in their target markets. Okay? In other words, shoes. What kind of shoes? Are these business shoes? Are these running shoes? Basketball shoes? In the basketball, running shoes, or business shoes, you have different lines with different prices, with different designs. Do you understand? Now, here we have a case example about Logitech. Now, I of course did read through this, so I will reduce this. I'll give you the rundown about this. It was all about how it can compete with Microsoft. You say, well, why would it compete with Microsoft? Microsoft is much bigger, right? Say, okay, but here's the thing. Yes, Microsoft does sell mice, but Logitech specializes in mice. Do you understand? They do mice and keyboard. And I guess recently they have a gaming console, a handheld gaming console. But originally it was mice and keyboards. That's their specialty. So even though they're a smaller company than Microsoft, because they specialize and can do it better than Microsoft, because you can only specialize in so many things, and you can't be an expert in everything, even in the same market. So, yes, they're in a different segment because Microsoft is software primarily. Logitech definitely is hardware, but even more so because it's in its own niche. They're not competitors, but the reason why I can compete It's because even if, suppose Microsoft, uh, with not being such a specialist in what in mice and keyboard, tried to do what Logitech does, it wouldn't be able to compete so well. Logitech is just better at its own specialty in its own niche. That's what it is. So what you want to do is you want to find your own niche and do it better than everybody else. You understand? Okay, the quality is better, the design is better, the reputation is better, and maybe I'm not sure if the pricing is better, but definitely the experience is better as well. Okay. Now, what we want to talk about next is the integrated marketing mix. As we talked about differentiation, I'll blow this up just as a review of the definition. Actually differentiating the market, offering to create superior customer value. Now, I don't like to use the same word of defining, so I would say that it's showing how your product is different than your competition in way to create higher or superior customer value. Do you understand? Okay. Now, remember, the marketing mix is also a set of tactical marketing tools. When I say tactical, tactical is not the same thing as strategic. Strategic has to do with the general way. Tactical has to do with methods in which you can complete the task. So, for example, products, price, place, and promotion. Hey, remember, strategy is the general way, tactical is the specific way to complete the task. Now, product, price, place, and promotion. It's almost a tongue twister. Okay? Now, those are the 4 P's that a firm blends to produce the response to it wants in the target market. Okay? We talked about that before, but just as a reminder, don't forget that. Okay? Now, we want to develop an integrated marketing mix. Now, after determining its overall marketing strategy, the company is ready to begin planning the details of its marketing mix. One of the major concepts of marketing, which is one of the major concepts of modern marketing. A marketing mix is a set of tactical marketing tools that firm blends to produce the response it wants. Now, it is a set of different strategies that are put into place that also include different tactical elements, as I said. So, now, the marketing mix consists of everything a firm can do to influence the demand of the product. So, right, marketing. So, marketing mix consists of everything a firm can influence the demand for its product. Okay? The many possibilities can be collected into 4 types of variables. The 4 P's, as I told you, to execute the end of the strategy, we have the tactics, which is the 4 P's. That's the products. The products or services, okay, for the target market. And this is pretty straightforward. Next is the price. This is the price for the product or service. The amount of money consumers must pay to obtain the product or service. Place. This is the place where company activities that make the product available for the company target consumers. This could be physically in person or online. And then the last one is promotion. Promotion means activities that communicate the merits of the product and persuade target customers to buy it. It's basically the marketing behind it. The value proposition created or communicated by the marketing strategy. An effective marketing program blends each marketing mix element into an integrated marketing program designed to achieve the company's marketing objectives by delivering value to customers. There we go. The marketing mix constitutes the company's tactical toolkit for establishing strong positioning in target markets. Some critics think that the 4 P's may omit or overemphasize certain important activities. For example, they ask, where are the services? Okay? Just because they don't start with a P doesn't justify omitting themselves. The answer is that services such as banking, airline, and retailing services are products too. I guess you could call it a product in the sense that it's something created by way of a process. You might call them service products. It's a very loose term, but yeah. Where's packaging? Creates my ask. Packaging is a kind of marketing because it is something that it is a product created to communicate the value of a product. Just like when you buy a book, you like to look at the cover, right? And sometimes the back of the book too, right? That's the packaging. Okay? When it comes to shipping things, packaging also to protect the product as well. So packaging does have value in the as part of the supply chain and the value chain, and also the value proposition of the product because it gets the attention, interest, becomes a want, and ultimately a demand for consumers. Now, there's another concern, however, that is valid. It holds that the 4P concepts take the seller's point of the market. Okay? Now, if that's from a seller's point of view. From the buyer's point of view, you have a different perspective. Ultimately, of course, as I want to mention, in the marketing mix, you want to look at both. So we want to look at the product, as in the variety, the quality, the design, the features, brand name, packaging, and services. For the price, you want to look at the list price, any discounts, allowances, payment period for paying it off, and credit terms. All of those are product and price are for the target customers, and promotion in place is for intended positioning. Let's talk about promotion. Promotion is the advertising, personal selling, which is in person. Sales promotion is like, okay, for a limited time. And public relations. This is to add value to the product itself that is valuable to the consumer. And then, of course, place. Place has channels, which is moving product, and sometimes sourcing. Coverage, where it can be delivered. Locations, where you can sell it, in terms of retail. Inventory is the product and the storage of the product, which is warehousing management. Transportation, that's basically in what way can it be transported. And logistics is a form is a is the broader view referring to the general way of distributing the products, distributing and transporting the product. All right, so margin price are for target customers, promotion in place is for intended position. Remember, we need to look at both sides of the thing. We can't just look at from seller's point of view, and we can't just look at it from buyer's point of view, because we need to know the service and the value for the promotion and the price. Okay? As if we just look at one of them, we cannot either the price is wrong and there's not enough profit, or there's not enough value created and not enough value added created. Now we have 4Ps and 4Cs. 4Ps we just talked about: product, price, place. We have price, place, and promotion. Product, price, place, promotion, the 4Ps. Now for the 4Cs, we have, and that would be from the seller's point of view. Buyer's point of view is the 4Cs. Customer solution, customer cost, convenience, and communication. We need both the 4Ps and the 4Cs for this to be effective, okay? Thus, whereas marketers see themselves as selling products, customers see themselves as one buying value or solutions to their products, okay? And customers are interested in more than just price, or interested in total cost of obtaining, using, and disposing of a product. Customers want the product and service to be as conveniently available as possible. Finally, they want a two-way communication. Marketers would do well to think through the four C's first, and then build the four P's in the cloud. Managing the marketing effort. In addition to being good at marketing in the marketing management, companies must also pay attention to the management. So, you have two aspects. You have the promotional end, and you have the management. Managing the marketing process requires four marketing management functions. So management is more of internal, mostly, unless we talk about the process in which that we control the value chain and the supply chain. Understand? So what we have is analysis, planning, implementation, and control. Okay, we sort of talked about that earlier, but just to give you an idea about it, you see that? The company first develops company-wide strategic plans and then translates them into marketing and other plans for each division, product, and brand. Okay. Now, through the implementation, the company turns the practice into action. Control consists of measuring, evaluating the results of what? The marketing activities and taking corrective action where needed, such as I said before. We want to control the process. What we're going to do, what we're going to allow, what we're not going to allow. And obviously, of course, relating to demand and the quality control of the product itself. We have a meowing cat right here. But that's not marketing. I think she likes marketing too. So, as far as marketing analysis is concerned, managing the marketing function begins with a complete analysis of the company's situation. The marketers should conduct what I said before is SWOT. My cat wants to jump on the table. It's not very well, but anyway, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths including internal capabilities, resources, and positive situational factors that may help the company serve its customers and achieve its objectives. Weaknesses include internal limitations, negative situational factors that interfere with the company's performance. Opportunities are favorable factors or trends in the external environment that the company may be able to exploit. Okay. Two is advantage. And threats are unfavorable external factors or trends that may present challenges to performance. Now, marketing, we also have to use strategic business management as it relates to how we're developing and displaying value of the product. Now remember something, strengths and weaknesses are internal, opportunities and threats are external. Strengths and opportunities are positive, and weaknesses and threats are negative. If we just think of this point, basically we'll understand the point. All right? Now, the goal is to match a company's strengths to attractive opportunities in the environment, while eliminating or overcoming weaknesses and minimizing threats. So we do this here. And we have a cat on a table who doesn't want to move. So what happened there? Okay. As far as marketing, let me try that once more. Take that off, and right. No, it's okay. We can leave it that way. And do everything except. Do everything except for that. Okay, here we go. Marketing analysis provides input to each of the other marketing management functions. So if we put this and we look at the broader perspective, we understand that we need to look at the broader view of it. We need to look at the external versus the internal. We need to look at our management. In case of management, it refers to mostly the internal, and some of the purchasing and sourcing in the supply chain as relates to the value chain, refers to the value a trend that's shown to the customer and transformed to profitable relationships. Now, with market planning, through strategic planning, the company decides what it wants to do with the business unit. Marketing planning involves choosing marketing strategies that will help the company attain its overall strategic objectives. Let's highlight that. Now, a detailed marketing plan is needed for each business, product, or brand. We need to have a way to manage and uh, process the internal processes as well as the relationship with the external partners and customers. Okay, now, remember that a marketing strategy consists of specific strategies for target markets. Positioning, the marketing mix, and the marketing expenditure levels, meaning how much you're going to spend as far as the budget is concerned. Okay, very good. It outlines how the company intends to create value for target customers in order to capture value in return. Okay? It's like a cat wants you to feed him, but the value created to you is the affection that the cat gives you in return. Kind of a funny example, analogy, but that's what it is. So basically, the cat is the customer, and the owner is the company and the seller. Now, it outlines how the company intends to create value for target customers in order to capture value in return, which is profitable relationships and revenue. Okay. Now, in this section, the planner explains how each strategy responds to the threats, opportunities, and critical issues spelled out earlier in the plan. Additional sections of the marketing plan lays out an action program for implementing and marketing strategy, along with the details of supporting marketing budget. Obviously, marketing requires money to do for various reasons: promotion, research, and advertisement. Now, marketing implementation. Planning good strategies is only a start towards successful marketing. A brilliant marketing strategy counts for a little if the company fails to implement it properly. Marketing implementation is the process that turns marketing plans into marketing actions to accomplish strategic marketing objectives, whereas marketing planning addresses the what and the why of the marketing activities. That's a good point. The what and the why. Oh, oh, oh. We got this here. She wants to have the whole table, but I'm using the mouse. Okay, we might ask the cat to get off the table for a moment here. Breeze, I'm going to need you off the keyboard, buddy. Okay? That's the name of the cat, Breeze. Breeze, you're going to have to get off the table now, buddy, okay? Because I can't do this lecture for them on marketing if you're blocking the keyboard. Understand what I mean, Breeze? Like, gotta work with me on that there, Breeze. Anyway, okay. Many managers think that doing things right, which is implementation, is as important or even more important than doing the right things, which is strategy. Okay? The fact is that both are critical to success of the companies and gain competitive advantages through effective implementation. Okay? Here's what they just said. Okay? You need two aspects. You need the right implementation, which is the right action, and you need the right strategy. Okay? You need those two parts. Now, when we talk about a marketing plan, It's similar to a business plan, but with more emphasis on marketing. First, we want an executive summary. It's a brief summary of the main goals and recommendations. Um, for the plan for management review, helping top management find the major points quickly, and a table of contents should follow the executive summary. So this is more marketing focused with goals, as opposed to when you have a business plan, referring to also the operations as well. Now, the current marketing situation describes the target market, company's position in it. Now, Breeze, I need you to off the keyboard again, buddy. You have a cat that likes to be on the table, likes my attention when I'm busiest, likes to put her head on the keyboard. Okay. Including information about the market, product performance, competition, and distribution. Okay. Now, remember something for that's called the current marketing situation. We need the market description defines the market in major segments. Okay. Then reviews customer needs, factors, and marketing environment that affects the customer purchasing. We need a product review, sales, price, gross margins, and the products in the product line. We need a review of the competition, identifies major competition, assesses the market's positions and strategies, product quality, pricing, distribution. Basically, competition. We want to look at the threats and analysis, threats, opportunities, and analysis. That assesses major threats and opportunities the product might face, helping management to anticipate important positive or negative developments that might have an impact on the firm and its strategies. Then we need the objectives and issues, meaning what are our goals and what are stopping us from getting accomplishing our goals. Then we need our objectives. We need our marketing strategy. Outlines the broad marketing logic by which the business unit hopes to create customer value in relationships and specific of target markets. Positioning, market expenditure levels. How will the company create value for the customer in order to create value from the customer return? And the section also outlines specific strategies for marketing mix elements and explains how each responds to threats and opportunities. So we have a marketing mix strategy. I didn't want to highlight all of it, so I'm just going to look at some basic stuff. Action programs, what you can do to achieve that. As a marketing strategy, will be found in specific action programs to answer the following questions. What will be done? When will it be done? Who will do it? Okay. Seems pretty straightforward, but that's a lot of times people don't consider all that. They just have a limited view of it. And then how much will it cost, of course? From my experience of people who are not versed in marketing, basically they only think about how can they get it, for how much, what can they sell it for, and then maybe where can they sell it. That's basically all they don't talk about strategies, they don't talk about markets, they don't talk about promotions. They may talk about some promotions, but they don't really usually go into detail about understanding the customer and then the customer value creation. Of course, we need budgets. That's basically how much we can spend for marketing, and we need controls. Outlines the control that will be used to monitor progress and hire management to review implementation results to spot products that are meeting their goals. Okay. I'm going to highlight that last one because this is really important. It includes messages in return. Includes measures of return on marketing investment. That's your return on investment. right. In an increasingly connected world, people of all levels of marketing systems must work together to implement marketing strategies and plans. At John Deere, I'm going to highlight that first part. At John Deere, for example, marketing implementation for the company's residential, commercial, and agricultural and industrial equipment requires day-to-day decisions and actions by thousands of people, both inside and outside the organization. This is the operation. That's your internal and your external. Marketing managers make decisions about targeting segments, branding, product development, pricing, promotion, and distribution. See, there's a lot to it. Now, a lot of this marketing stuff does overlap with supply chain management, does overlap with business, strategic business management, okay? Those things do overlap. And also, of course, with like accounting, also in terms of the price, the budget, budgeting as well. So, and of course, management as well. Organizational structure, so it overlaps with all those. Now, we talk about engineering with product design, with manufacturing, about product and inventory levels, with finance and funding and cash flows. They also connect with outside people such as advertising agencies and plan ad campaigns and news media to obtain publicity support. So that's basically like if you pay a company to do some specialized task that they're better than you are at, but that's what their specialty is, and also for PR of the company itself for the environmental concerns, okay, which is also overlapping with project management as well, okay. So a lot of these aspects of business are related and overlap in certain situations. Now, as far as the marketing department organization is concerned, the company must design a marketing organization to carry out marketing strategies and plans. If the company is very small and the person must do all the research, might do all the research, selling and advertising, customer service, and marketing. As the country expands, however, marketing department emerges to plan and carry out marketing activities. Okay? So what we need to think of it this way. When you're small, you have the time and the manpower to do everything yourself. When you become really large, when there's more work to be done, there's multiple people to manage. You can't, one person doesn't have time to do it all, so he has to have a team of people that specialize in doing one thing in depth and very well. Now, in large companies, the department contains many specialists, includes product and marketing managers, sales managers, and salespeople, market researchers, advertising experts, and other specialists. And some of this stuff is actually expanding because, for example, for advertising experts, you have something called copywriting, which is putting out an advertising message. Uh, Obviously, you need salespeople, market researchers. These people, all they do is just that one thing because to get the maximum result, they have to spend all their time on that. As in, salespeople need to get the maximum customers. Market researchers, you need to get as much data as possible. Advertising experts, you need to find out, you need to research and find out the best way to advertise and implement it. Product managers to oversee the quality control of the product, marketing manager for the marketing strategy itself, and a sales manager oversee the sales team. Okay? So, head of such a large organization, many companies have created a new chief marketing officer position. Now, the person heads up the company's entire marketing operation and represents marketing and other company's top management team. That's what it does. The person heads up the company's entire marketing operation and represents marketing at the company's top management team. here's the thing is, as we have, I believe we call it C-suites, which is your upper level executives, CEO, CTO, COO, CFO, right? So, as CEO, it's at the top, and then below the CEOs, executives. So, the CEO is a top level executive, and you have the lower level executives, which is your CTO, COO, CFO, and for marketing, because marketing includes all these other aspects, the CMO. Marketing managing, sorry, modern marketing departments can be arranged in several ways. The most common form of marketing organization is the functional organization. Under the organization, different marketing activities are headed by functional specialists, sales manager and advertising manager, a marketing manager, and a customer and service manager or new product manager. So if we want to think of it this way, if you want to look in the broader terms, we have like the business department, and in the business department we have a different. Before we had like the business department, and then we had these other. We had one like major department and then sub departments under them. What they basically did was they consolidated into one. A company that sells across the country or internationally often uses geographical organizations. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? It's sales and marketing people designed to specific countries, regions, and districts. Geographic organization allows salespeople to settle into a territory, get to know their customers, and work with a minimum of travel time and costs. Companies with many different products or brands often create okay, product management organization. Using this approach, the product manager develops and implements a complete strategy and marketing program for a specific product or brand. So if we have different products, this is going to be a necessary part. Now, some of this stuff, if we look at it as an organizational aspect, we have to look at how things are subdivided and managed. Okay? Now, for companies that sell one product line to many types of markets and customers, we have different who have different needs and preferences. Our market or customer management organization might be best. Okay. A market management organization is similar to a project management organization. Market managers are responsible for developing marketing strategies and plans for specific markets or customers. Now, this system, main advantage is that the company is organized around the needs of the specific customer segments. Many companies develop special organizations to manage a relationship with large customers. For example, companies such as P&G, Stanley Black & Decker have created large teams or even whole divisions to serve customers such as Walmart, Target, Safeway. Well, let's pause for a second. Let's look at this. Let's think about what they're saying for a moment, and then critically think through this. Now, if you're running a company, you have priorities, okay? And you have different focuses depending on different priorities. If you have your high-end companies, they have different needs, so therefore, you have people focusing on those different needs. So the big companies have different needs than the small companies. You understand? That's part of it. And also, because of the demographical differences, the amount of money spent also gives priority to the company as well. Now, large companies that produce many different products flowing into many different geographic and customer markets usually employ some combination of functional, geographic, product, and market organization. We look at each aspect. Functional, what does it do? Geographic, where is it? What is the product? And how do you organize the market? Market organization forms. In marketing, how are you managing it? Because of different geographic markets. Marketing organization has become an increasingly important issue in recent years. More and more companies are shifting their brand management towards a focus towards customer management, which is moving away from managing only product or brand profitability and toward manage so it's toward managing customer profitability and customer equity. They think of themselves as the managing portfolios of brands, but as managing portfolios of customers. And rather than managing the fortunes of a brand, they see themselves as managing customer brand experiences and relationships. What is the real value that they're trying to produce? Managing customer brand experiences and relationships. Number one, we need to make sure that our value is created as special, as is targeted, and is communicated at the highest level. And number two, we want to make sure our relationships are profitable. Now let's talk about marketing control. Because many surprises occur in the implementation of marketing plans, implementation of marketing plans, marketers must practice the marketing control. Okay. Now, that's evaluating the results of marketing strategies and plans and taking corrective action to ensure the objectives are attained. That's the management aspect of that. Meaning we need to look at our marketing and see, are we getting the result we want? Marketing control involves 4 steps. Okay. Let's look at the 4 steps. First step. Okay. First sets specific marketing. Okay, so management first sets specific marketing goals. First thing you have to do is you have to set marketing goals. It then measures the performance in the marketplace. Okay. Next thing you do is you measure the performance of the marketplace and evaluates the causes of differences between expected and actual performance. Okay, very good. Finally, management takes corrective action to close the gaps between. Okay, close the gaps between what? Goals and performance. Okay, very good. Now, this may require changing action programs or even changing the goals. Now, operating control involves checking ongoing performance against the annual plan and corrective action when necessary. Okay. This is the control of it. Actually, in this last part, I don't want to apparently do that part. Its purpose to ensure that the company achieves its sales, profits, and other goals set by the annual plan, as I said earlier. It also involves determining the profitability of different products, territories, markets, and channels. This is important because you need to focus on what's profitable to build profitable relationships. Now, strategic control involves that's basically control. Involves looking at whether or not the company's basic strategies are well matched to its opportunities. Okay, make sure. So what you're trying to do, matching up with the opportunities. Okay, that's strategic control. Marketing strategies and programs could become outdated, and each company should periodically reassess its overall approach in the marketplace. And depending on the economy and the trends, this can happen every X amount of years, as in 20 years, 10 years. It depends on what kind of product it is. Usually, technology IT products usually have a shorter life cycle, or as they say, product or service cycle, okay, which means it's created, marketed, implemented, sold, and then it ends. And now, measuring and managing return on marketing investment. before I do that, I want to close something because I'm not trying to. And I get that a lot. Whenever I'm busy, it's people like my attention and message me, so whatever. Measuring and managing return on market investment. Marketing managers must ensure that their marketing dollars are being well spent. In the past, many marketers feel spent freely on big, expensive marketing programs, often without thinking clearly about the financial returns on the spending. What are you spending on, and what returns are you getting? Okay. They believe that the marketing products produces intangible creative outcomes that do not lend themselves readily to measures of productivity or return. But in today's more constrained economy, that is all changing. It needs to have a measurable return. It can't be something intangible. Okay. Now, the value given to the person can be intangible, but the value received back to the company can be intangible. Now, we need to understand ROI, which is return on investment. This is or marketing ROI. This is return on investment based upon the marketing investment. And it is the net return from marketing investment divided by the cost of the marketing investment. So let's do this. Let's think about this for a second. We have the investment divided by the cost of the investment. Okay, the return divided by the investment. So uh, let's say you got $10 and you invested 100. You got a 10% return. This could be in anything that you spend on. It's an investment. Why? Because the expectation is to get a return in advance. A return from the investment, that is. Marketing ROI can be difficult to measure. In measuring financial ROI, both the R and the I are uniformly measured in dollars, but there is not yet a consistent definition of ROI. It's tough to measure, more so than that of the business expenses, says one analyst. You can imagine buying a piece of equipment and then measuring the productivity gains as a result of the purchase, he says. But in marketing, benefits like advertising impact aren't easily put in dollar returns. It takes a leap of faith to come up with a number. A recent survey found that almost two-thirds of the companies have implemented return on marketing investment programs in the recent years. So one return could be market share. One return could be increased revenue, or other things too. But ultimately, it has to translate into increased revenue. A company can assess marketing ROI in terms of standard marketing performance measures such as brand awareness, sales, and market share. Now, the idea is if you don't have directly increased revenue, like you don't have the numbers for the increased revenue, but you have market share, that will go directly into that. Brand awareness translates into more sales, which translates into more market share, which translates into revenue. More sales also translates into revenue as well. Many companies are assembling measures into marketing dashboards, which are sets of marketing performance measures and single display used to monitor strategic managing performance. Just as automobile dashboards present drivers with details on the car's performing, the marketing dashboard gives marketers detailed measures they need to assess about adjusting their marketing strategies. We have some examples: VF Corporation, North Face, Vans, Nautica, All Mankind, etc. And also lifestyle brands from apparel brands as well, Wrangler, Lee, North Face, etc. They have their measurement as well, and you can see here from the picture what it would look like. Okay, now this is part of control, is the data you got from ROI. Increasingly, however, beyond standard performance measures, marketers are using customer-centered measures of marketing impact, such as customer acquisition, customer retention, customer lifetime value, and customer equity. The important things are these: customer acquisition. retention, customer lifetime value, and customer equity. Customer lifetime value, etc. That's going to be explained more in chapter 18 and 19. Well, basically what it is you just take total amount of revenue per customer per month times 12 months times how many years. And once we have that, customer equity can be defined as monthly, yearly, or lifetime. Ultimately, it's how much money is each customer worth. Okay? From a financial standpoint, I don't mean a personal standpoint. These measures captures not only the current marketing performance, but also future performance resulting from stronger customer relationships. Now, this figure, as I just showed you, views marketing expenditures, which is expenses, as investments. Okay, that produce returns in form of profitable customer relations. So once you have that customer loyalty, you have, and as long as what you're doing is profitable, you have created a profitable customer relationship. Marketing investments result in improved customer value and satisfaction, which in turn increases customer attraction and retention. This increases individual customer lifetime values and firms' overall customer equity. Increased customer equity in return is the increased customer equity in relation. This is in relation to the cost of marketing investments. Determines the return on marketing investment. It's very simple. How much for every $100 you put in, how much money do you get out? Because we look at the cost. Okay, so instead of investment, we get defined it as costs. Okay, it's two ways of saying the same thing. What was the cost? What is the total cost of marketing? Okay, that's how much money you spent for marketing. Okay, now how much did you get back in return? That's the ROI in relation to cost of marketing. Do you understand? Now, regardless of how it's defined or measured, the marketing ROI concept is here to stay. In good times and bad, whether it's not, marketers are ready for it and not being asked to justify their spending on financial data as one marketer adds another marketer. Marketers have got to know how to count. So let me show you the graphical representation. First, we start with marketing investments. That's basically the cost of marketing. Then we take the returns. Okay? This is about return of marketing investment. Okay? Now, our investment, which is the cost of marketing. Go to our return. What's the return on that? So what's the percentage on the amount put in? Okay, so if we put in, let's say our return was 200. We put in 100. Our return was 100%. From improved customer value and satisfaction, we go to increased customer attraction, which goes to increased customer lifetime values, and then return on the marketing investment. So we have all those in addition to that. Also, with the increased customer attraction, we have increased customer retention. The reason why that matters is because it costs money to get new customers, just like it costs money to get new employees. With increased customer attraction and increased customer retention, you have increased customer lifetime values and customer equity. And then when you consider all the marketing investments and marketing returns, you get a return on financial marketing investments. Now, from marketing investments, you can also consider this as a cost of marketing investment, which is all of the marketing, marketing investment is the cost of marketing investment. And returns on marketing investment refers to the marketing returns, which we mentioned was customer value, customer attraction, customer retention, and increased customer lifetime value. That about does it for the chapter. Now, I just want to review the objectives review. First, we want to make sure we understand the company-wide strategic planning and its 4 steps. Number 2, we want to discuss how to design business portfolios and develop growth strategies. Number 3, we want to explain marketing's role in strategic planning and how marketing works with its partners to create and deliver customer value. Number 4, we want to describe the elements of customer-driven market strategy and mix and the forces that influence it. Number 5, we want to list the marketing management functions, including the elements of marketing plan, discuss the importance of measuring and managing return on marketing investment. If you'd like, you can read through the explanation of each objective. I already talked about that. Each objective, remember there was 5 objectives. I'd like you to make sure that you've understood that and make sure it's understandable to the point where you can explain it in your own words, of which I did from time to time in this chapter. Okay, so certainly if you're in business, if you want to make money being self-employed, open another organization. Okay? You need to understand marketing. It's a very big part. It's one of the major operations of business. So basically, in a business, you have operations, you have your business department, including sales and marketing. And you have your financial end, which is relating to the business, which is accounting, bookkeeping, and accounting. We have organizational, which is the overall management, and then we have technology, to do with the IT infrastructure and management, information management. And then all this has to do with, of course, top level, which is CEO, Chief Executive Officer, which we haven't talked about that in relation to what we're doing. But ultimately, this is one of the departments that the CEO needs to manage and ensure that they're getting maximum value from the customers. You understand? All right. I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and I'm quite sure that you got lots of value from this. So please click like. Okay. Then please click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And also please click the bell button so you'll be notified of all of my future videos. Okay. Now, in the future, I will have a membership, so I will be providing premium content in terms of live streams, in terms of tutoring, helping with the learning the material or any other questions, like a Q&A, like a question and answer session, and also other suggestions and experiences that's helped me learn the topic. And also, I also tutor this as well on Fridays. This week, I'm doing this lesson at this time because this is the normal time I do it, but it's not always that way. So anyway, I can help with those lessons. Right? This will be very affordable, probably about $5 to $10 for the membership. And I also will have in the future something like a premium website option, like Patreon, where you pay a membership. There's different levels that'll give you different things. So what I'm going to be aiming for in the future is 1 live stream per week. And the membership levels is basically you can access 1, 2, 3, or 4 live streams in a month. So I'm going to have basically 4 levels, 5, 10, 15, or $20. Obviously, the $5 being for the 1 live stream, 10 for the 2 live stream, 15 for the 3, and then $20 for the 4 live streams. I'll have access to. Okay. And for 2 live streams and up, I'll give them access to my notes. You're welcome to take it from the video if you want to screenshot it. But I can also explain in the premium content as well how I did the notes. I will explain my experiences with it. Okay, so this is the premium part that I would normally have in my normal recordings. Okay? So again, I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and I do wish you a great day and great weekend.